Ladies and gentlemen, rugby clubs in England, in Wales, in Canada, and the United States of America, welcome to Rugby Bash Legends in your living room. I am your host. My name is Bruce Aitchison from Happiness is Egg-Shaped, and I am delighted to see you. And we have got two magnificent legends to watch the game with today. You're probably watching the end of the Ireland-Italy game. Looks like we can safely say Ireland are going to take this one, but who knows what's going to happen in Cardiff, and we have got two special guests who are going to give us some insight. But it is so good to be joined by you, and let's have a look at our club map, because we've got clubs all over the show, and I am delighted that I've been to some of them. Good old Alnwick. I remember winning Alnwick 15's pre-season tournament many moons ago. Believe it or not, I kicked a drop goal to win that one. And we've got the Crusaders in Canada, and we've got Long Beach in the United States of Trump. Brilliant to have you with us. I really hope you enjoy this. We are going to enjoy it because it is time to be together to watch some rugby. And our good old friends at Llanwit Fardra are back. Jamie Roberts' old club, who he trotted out for when he was 18. Good to see you back again. Thank you, folks, down there in deepest, darkest Wales. Our sponsors, Snackfully. Hopefully, if you've got your box, you're tucking into some of those tasty treats to watch and eat and consume and have a grand old time. So, today, two absolute superstars who are still doing good things in the game. One who's hobbling back and one who's got his feet up having a bit of a day off. I don't think he's watching the Ireland-Italy game. I think he's watching his club at the moment, who are going into battle with Newcastle. So he's kind of keeping an eye on that one too. But we are in your living room and they are in their living rooms. Welsh international superstar and Grand Slammer Gareth Anscombe, and England, everybody's favourite England fullback, Mr. Mike Brown. Let's bring the gentlemen in. Hello there, boys.
Hello, everyone. Hi, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you both. Mike, what's the update on Quins? What are they doing just now?
We're currently losing, unfortunately, 14-7. But it's just kicked off second half, and we're going okay.
Are you a decent spectator, or do you find it difficult to watch?
Yeah, I don't like watching games I could have been playing in or want to be playing in. So yeah, I do find it tough.
Yeah, Gareth, how's the aches and pains?
Yeah, good, thank you. Making some good progress. A little bit slower than I would have liked at times, but running and moving about a bit more now, which has been nice. So we're slowly getting closer, hopefully.
Have you got a target, or is that too big a deal to reveal?
I don't think it'd be worthwhile me saying, just in case I don't hit it. So I've got one in the back of my head, but whether I get to that in time, we'll wait and see. So for me, it's just a case of getting through, ticking each box, and if I respond well to that, then we move to the next thing. So we'll just see how we go.
And what are you like as a spectator?
Well, I've got used to it. I can tell you that. I've been doing it for 2 years. So, look, these big games, like Mike said, they're always a little bit harder. We'd obviously much rather be out in the middle, but I do okay. We'll find out now, I suppose, in half an hour.
Mike, what's your thoughts? England have had a down with Scotland and then kind of an up with result against Italy. What's your thoughts for today? Do you think they're coming into this prepared and ready for action?
Yeah, I just feel like they'll be massively fired up. I think Eddie would have fired them up through the week. The backs against the walls sort of style from him, letting the guys know what people are saying about them, firing guys up like Billy Verpola, Owen, people like that. And yeah, I think they'll just go for physicality, set piece. With that split they've got on the bench as well with 6-2. They're going for the physical game. So they're going to be fired up. So I think they're going to be too strong.
So what does that say when you go with 6-2? What does that mindset become in the camp if you're going 6 forwards on the bench?
That to me says physicality and set piece is going to be massive for them. That's going to be their main go-to. So they want to be able to empty the bench later in the game, because they want those guys that are on first to work really hard in terms of physicality, both sides of the ball, and then really squeeze what the Welsh in the set piece, and then bring on the guys off the bench to finish the job. So yeah, that just screams out physicality and set piece to me.
Do you think they're going to kick the leather off it?
Yeah, I can't see them changing their style too much. Italy again, start moving the ball a little bit, and the skills sort of let them down. But I think this week, with everything that's riding on the game, against the Welsh, I think they won't deviate any further than the plan of the massive territory game, kicking, set piece, and really squeezing with their defence, I think.
Gareth, Golden Boys at 13, getting his 100th cap. How big a lift does that give the rest of them?
Yeah, look, I don't think they need it, but what an incredible achievement for Georgie at 28-2. You forget how young he is. He's been around for so long. But you'd like to think that they would talk about throughout the week. I know they've mentioned it, and it'd be nice to get a good result for Georgie. He certainly deserves it for his performances for the country over the last 10 to 12 years. But look, this game's already got enough on it than needing George's milestone to put any more pressure on it. So England versus Wales, setting us up for a triple crown. There's plenty at stake today.
Kieran Hardy is somebody that isn't a household name. I was speaking to Rupert Moon a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying how much he rates Kieran Hardy. What do you know about him?
Not a lot. It seems like he's slowly gone about his business in the Pro 14, and in the last 18 months, he's really improved at the Scarlets, and at times, taken the starting jersey off Gareth Davis. Look, it sounds like they're pretty pleased with the way he came off the bench last week, and I think it's been more a case that no nine's really grabbed that jersey. Obviously, there's been an injury to Thomas Williams at the start of the campaign, which he was probably their go-to man leading into it. But now it's Kieran's opportunity, and if he goes well today, he certainly will potentially have that jersey for a while.
And what about the wonder kid, Louis Rees-Zammit? Everybody's talking about him, and he seems to be the most popular rugby player on TikTok, I'm told. Yeah,
apparently. Look, I think the way he took his second try against Scotland basically won Wales the game, didn't it? Look, he's got absolutely freakish pace. Him and Johnny May obviously both have that, and I'm sure it'd be nice to see those two go at it. But you can't coach speed, and if Wales can get him some space out wide and give him something to chase, then he's certainly pretty dangerous. I've no doubt. I think, as Mike's mentioned before, that England will go after him. I think they'll go, they'll bombard him early on. They'll put a few high balls on him, maybe turn him around, and they'll probably try and test out his king game, But if he comes through this one, then he certainly, I think, announced himself on the world stage, definitely.
Mike, I reckon, from what I know of Mike Brown, I reckon you would relish playing against Rees-Zammit.
Not if it was one with a good few meters either side of me with his pace. Like Gareth said, he's electric. We played him recently, Quins v Gloucester, and all we did was target his high balls. Make every contest 50-50, not give him an inch of space, because we know how electric he is and what he can do if he has that space. So we definitely targeted him with that, and he didn't actually have the best days in that game because we did that, and we did it effectively. So England will definitely look at that. Eddie will definitely have that. And I can imagine they'll have a set piece play with a kick that involves it being put right on his head, and a good number of guys running down his channel to whack him as soon as he catches it. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But if he gets space, like he showed a weekend, he is rapid.
I was speaking to Scott Steele on Thursday, who was bigging up Mike Brown, but he did tell me that when he played against you when he was with Irish, he said Mike Brown was one of those players that, let's put this politely, he had a question mark over. But he said as soon as he arrived at Quins, Mike Brown was the first person to introduce himself, took him for coffee, helped him out. Now, what would you be saying to Louis Rees-Zammit if Mike Brown was playing against him today? I'm pretty sure you'd have a word in his ear.
Ask Gareth, he'd probably know better. He's probably been on the other side of it, so ask him. Yeah, look, it's all part of it for me. You get into him a bit, especially as he's a young lad. You want physically and mentally. And I'm sure Eddie will have those guys fired up to get into him both sides, physically and mentally. Yeah, I'd definitely be chucking a few words his way.
So what do guys like Johnny May, Anthony Watson, Elliot Daly, Henry Slade, maybe, who are the ones who are going to come into close contact with them often? Everybody's talking about them. Are they got in their mind, right, I'm going to show you this, today's about me, or do they not focus on one player?
No, I don't think they'll be focused on one player. You can't do that at international level, because look at the other guys in that back line. You've got Lyons, you've got hundreds of caps, George North, like that. So you can't do that. But I can imagine, if they're anything like me, they're competitive test match animals. If they get a shot on someone that's got a lot of the line at the moment, they're gonna want to make it count, and let him know about it. So, but you can't just focus on one player at the top level.
I love how honest you are, Mike. It's absolutely brilliant. I would have a word with him. Gareth, Alan Wynne-Jones still going? How important is a guy like that in a changing room for a game like this? Is he firing things up, or do people look at him thinking how calm and cool he is? What's he like in the changing room and in the warm up?
Look, I think one of Ella Wynne's greatest attributes is probably his ability to train at such a high level and stay consistent. And I think for this week, he definitely would have set their sort of emotional bar pretty high. He certainly would lead that throughout the week. He's not a guy that barks a lot of orders, but he makes sure that the boys are coming, I suppose, with the right attitude. And whenever you play England, you need to have that, because they know, particularly up front, I think they know what's coming today. So it's going to be a big test. And look, obviously, I think if England put pressure on Ella Wynne and will target set piece, like I'm sure they will, then they'll think that goes a long way to them, securing a victory. So look, it's important that he's back. He's obviously had a couple of niggles, but with Ella Wynne, he's always up around at least a 7 out of 10. And hopefully he has a big one today, against Proja, who I'm pretty sure, he still likes to think that, he can get on top of.
There's just battles all over the place. Number 8's one I'm interested in, but we're all back sitting here. But number 8 is a battle. Toby Faletau against his mate and cousin Billy Vunipola. How does that go, do you think, Mike? How big a battle is that, or is it not really a direct combat?
No, that's a big battle. Both key to the way that each team plays. In terms of the way they're playing at the moment, Billy's under pressure. He's getting a bit of stick from outside in the media and stuff like that. He isn't up to his usual high standards. He's a bit off his game at the moment. Whereas Toby, I think, he's playing really well. He's looking sharp, looking strong. He was playing really well for Bath in the lead up to this Six Nations as well. So he's in the hot seat in terms of Lions selection at number 8. So it'll be interesting to see how they both go up against each other. Hopefully that will motivate Billy. He's come out in the week and said that he hasn't played well and things like that, which is good to see sometimes. A bit of honesty, and hopefully that means he's taken ownership and he's going to have a big one today, because it's a big battle.
Back row is going to be crazy, Gareth. What do you reckon to penalty counts today? You've got a lot of boys there who love to pinch the other team's ball.
Yeah, well, look, I think we've seen so far in this competition how important keeping your discipline is. Look, I think there's been a lot of noise made about the red cards and yellow cards lately, and it's certainly hot water at the moment, isn't it? But look, the penalty count's going to be important, because I think both teams are going to play quite conservatively. I think both teams will try and make sure they play at the right end of the field, and penalties allow you to piggyback yourself up the field, I suppose. So, look, I think if teams give away, a lot of penalties, they'll probably they'll lose the game. I think both teams will be trying to get under 10, but we've seen how tough that is at the moment, particularly around the breakdown. But look, I think having Josh Navidi back for Wales is a big one. I think Josh is world class, and they just have to have him. He's so tough. He's strong physically, with and without the ball. And I think he complements, Tibrick and Toby. So, look, those three against each other, it's going to be an exciting one.
Who are you hoping gets red carded, Gareth?
Look, if Big Billy goes and has to sit down, I wouldn't mind it too much, to be honest.
There's a question in from Lise. Cheeky question. Can Wales win if it's against 15 players for a whole game?
Well, we'll see. But yeah, look, they've been fairly lucky, haven't they? And I guess in some ways we haven't really seen them fully, not tested, I don't think that's the right word, but I don't know if they've had to earn a victory just yet. And if they win today, they're soon going to have to earn it. So I'm sure Eddie would have reminded England how important their discipline is. It cost them at the Millennium a couple of years ago when we beat them. We managed to rev up a few of them. I think Ed spoke about that pre-match. I'm pretty sure a lot of those boys have matured a bit more now and would like to think they won't let that happen again. So, it'll be an interesting one.
How do you manage that situation, Mike? Because it's almost out with players' control at the moment. Xander Fagerson last week, when they were checking, or 2 weeks ago, it didn't even look like he knew it was him that they were checking on the TMO. Are players worried about this stuff?
I'm not, but I don't make as many tackles or hit as many rucks as those guys. Look, we do, from my experience, we're doing a lot of work on that technical side of the tackle, making sure it's the correct height. We're trying to focus more on the leg shot so that we're nowhere near the head shots, and then just going to rucks again, just working on that technique all the time, so that when you're in a game, you're hoping it's going to be as natural and instinctive and things like that as possible. So you don't have to think about it too much. A few guys have been unlucky, but they're in there for a reason, aren't they? Those rules, they're for player welfare. So, it is kind of good that the rest are sticking to their guns. Some guys have been unfortunate in how it's happened, but we have to look at player welfare and things like that. So if it keeps encouraging guys to keep their shots low, being sensible and understanding when they're going into rucks, not just to fly in unnecessarily and hit people with their shoulders in their heads, then I think it's good, and we need to continue doing it.
Mike Brown sounds like
I
a
get
voice.
A red card for it.
I was about to say, you begin to sound like a member of the establishment there. It's like, hang on a minute, who's this guy that's just arrived? No,
next game I'll get a red card, and I'll be like, it's rubbish. No, we should change it all. No.
I've got a question in from Tim Visser. He says, I have to ask you if you've both been to the same hairdresser.
Ask him if he's dyed his hair yet. It's going great. So
don't. You should have seen one of the messages I got from him this week. He was in his bed about 9 o'clock. He's getting a bit old. He's beginning to feel his age. Homeschooling is not treating him well. Let's put it that way.
It's all that property he's getting himself involved in.
Yeah, he makes out as if he's actually the one doing some graft. He's just there to take pictures for his social media and LinkedIn. He's not actually lifted a finger.
All he does is chuck the people out that are living there before him.
There's a question here from Chris. Do you think it's time for Eddie to start picking on form rather than reputation? Billy Vunipola has struggled to return to form, while Sam Simmons and Alex Dombrandt have been excellent. This is you can't scroll through half a dozen rugby tweets without somebody commenting on Eddie's selection policy. Mike, you're the closest to this. Like, are guys like this? Can they control Eddie's selection? Are they doing everything they can just by performing? Where do you sit on Eddie's selections?
Look, no one can control Eddie. We all know that. You know what he's like. It seems like the more that someone's talked up, the less likely they're going to get selected. I just think in terms of selection, I feel like Eddie has just maybe missed an opportunity, probably in that Autumn Nations Cup, to try these guys out, the Dombrandts, the Sam Simmons, early on in the season, early on in the World Cup cycle, to see what they're like. That was a good opportunity that other teams I feel took better. Wales, that they tried people out. That they were really under pressure with results and things like that. But at least they tried people out. Ireland did, France did. They played a pretty much a B team in the final, but tested out. I know it was forced upon them, but they still did it. Whereas England, they didn't change anything. Same style, same selection, and things like that. I just think he could have tried guys. Like I said, Don Brandt, Simmons, maybe the other Simmons brother at 10, Marcus Smith at 10, just to see what they're like. And then when it comes to these big tournaments like the Six Nations, if you're tried and tested, aren't playing well, these guys are going to be able to slot in. If a certain style isn't working, other guys can slot in, but he doesn't have that option now. He kind of has to stick with those tried and tested in these big games, because you can't chuck him against Wales at Millennium Stadium, because it's such a big game and you don't know what you're going to get from them. I just think it's been a missed opportunity for earlier on along the line.
Marcus Smith is outrageous at the moment. He just looks like he's having so much fun with the way Quins are. Maybe not today, but in the last few games, he just looks like he's loving what's going on.
Yeah, I'd like to say it was all down to the fullback he had outside him, but it really doesn't. No, he's a quality player. He's a quality player. Like he can just do stuff other guys can't. And he's developing all the time. He's hungry. He's competitive, which is what you want. He just wants to win all the time, and I think that's brilliant in a young player. So I'm just looking at Newcastle nearly broke through again. So I just think he would be great in a camp, with what he could bring, a different side of a different style. It's a missed opportunity for me.
Gareth, are boys talking about the Lions? Is it in their head, or is it just out with control?
I think publicly, they would say they're not, but of course, everyone's thinking about the Lions. Why wouldn't you? But clearly they know. I think you play well in the Six Nations, and Gats will probably pick his team off that. So I think it'll be in the back of their minds, and particularly in these big games, when you get these opportunities to sort of have a crack against someone who's also a potential tourist, I suppose. Goes a long way to getting yourself on that plane, I suppose, or bus to Dublin, wherever the game's going to be. But yeah, I think it'll be in the back of the boys' mind. And certainly, winning these big games always, I suppose. Look, I suppose in history, any team that wins Six Nations, they tend to have a fair few people go on that Lions tour.
Now, all the Welsh boys have got Gatlin's mobile number. Have you got Gatlin's mobile number?
I think he deleted it after I got injured at the World Cup.
Because would you be able to send it to me so I can share it with some Scottish boys so that they can just start chipping away at him? I'll let Hamish Watson, Jamie Ritchie have it, and just let them chip away at him.
Yeah, they got to start winning first. One win every fucking four tournaments, no good.
Yes, I love it. You're not telling me the Welsh.
They're the only country that tells everyone in the world they're still building. Well, when are they finished?
Hey, the only reason why I look like this, I'm only actually 24 years old. So that's what happens to being a Scottish rugby supporter.
Yeah, it's classic Scotland, that.
Classic Scotland. Yeah, Fred, so you loved playing against Scotland. We all know, everybody. You lot loved playing against Scotland. We all know that. Right, gentlemen, we're gonna watch our advert from our sponsor, Snackfully. They've sent this in, but there's no audio, so I'm getting to sing it. So I'm looking forward to this.
I better have my Heineken then. Right
on, Brad. I like it. Sean's disappeared. There we go. We're for the munchers and the movers, the nibblers on the goers, for your favourite snacks and drinks, direct to your door. Thankfully, you've got Snackfully. Order yours today at snackfully.co.uk. They're now never going to play that again. or they're going to get some audio for it. Gents, we've got a man of the match competition running. At half time, we'll kick it off, and they'll win a bottle of Glen Turret whiskey. Who do you reckon's the person to watch today? Gareth, we'll go with you first. Who do you reckon? Is it going to be a sentimental give it to George North?
No, I think it's going to be one up front today. I'm going to go with Josh Navidi.
Josh Navidi, excellent, interesting. Over the ball, Mike.
Yeah, can't look any further than the back row, so I think I'll go Faletau.
Oh, Wales, interesting.
If Wales win.
A little caveat there. He almost stitched himself up there. Up.
But if England win, I think Billy. I think it's that battle that's going to be key.
Battle of the Eights. Gareth, do you need another one? Are you confident Wales are going to win and Josh Navidi's going to be man of the match?
Yeah, I'll get one in just in case though. I'll go with his opposite. I'll go with Curry. I think whoever gets a couple of turnovers probably is going to win a man of the match.
Nice, I love it. Now we've got people watching all over the place. We've got a club in Canada. Boys, you been on tour to Canada or America, or is it just countries like Scotland that go on tour there?
It's just the tier 2 nations like Scotland and Wales.
I was just going to say, you go there because you can win some games.
They got beat by America. They beat Canada. They beat Canada, then got beat by America.
That's because
I think that might have been Adam Hastings' first game for Scotland. I think his old man Gavin went out. Rock star of international rugby, Lions, went out, and then America beat them, and I think he just got laughed at for the whole time he was there. Yeah, Scotland doing their best to spread the rugby gospel throughout the world. You see, charitable missionary work. We've also got some photos coming in, and I'm hoping this is going to be ready to go because we've got Sai and Lara are in Nairobi watching this, and they have got quite an awesome little setup. Looks like they're outside. I don't know, in Nairobi, do they call it a braai in Nairobi or do they call it a barbecue? But they have got a really sweet setup there. And we've got others, so please tweet your pictures in or send them on WhatsApp. And the best photo is going to win a ticket to one of the future Rugby Bash events. So we've got 2 games to go, and you'll be able to choose which game that is. So get your photos in of your setup. We've had some pretty interesting looking setups last time, especially from some of the Welsh clubs in outdoor bars, who I think were all one family. I think the 6 people in the photo were all one family. So we'll see those, and we'll get those hooked up, and we'll play some of those later. So make sure you get your pictures into there. WhatsApp it or get onto Twitter at Rugby Bash, and please include your name so we can give you a bit of a shout out. So, gentlemen, we're getting closer and closer to kickoff. Mike, you've already been bailing yourself out by giving one for each team. What do you reckon the result's going to be? You reckon it's going to be tight?
Yeah, I think England by 6, so 16-10.
Okay. Mostly kicks?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be tight, and I think both defences look pretty good, so I think it'll be mostly kicks.
Gareth, you reckon there's going to be any tries in this?
I hope so. The weather's nice, and I think the roof's open, isn't it? So, I'll go with a Wales. I think Wales 20-15.
So is this, it sounds like the two you're going for one of those things that because there's not a lot of rugby played, we call it a classic test match. Is that what you're predicting?
Yeah, I think so.
So, Mike, going into games like that, if you're stood out the back at 15, are you prepared for just defusing a whole load of bombs?
Yeah, definitely. I think going into games like those, the kicking game's going to be crucial territories, massive. So you're getting your head on for a very territory-based game, focused game, which obviously means a lot of kicks. So for me, just getting my head on for that, and once you diffuse those kicks, it's all about the decision making you make at the back, because you don't want to make a bad decision back there and then give the opposition that territory.
Gareth, there's not the big crowd there, so we've got a question in from Simon. You won't know what it's like playing without fans in stadiums at the moment, but do you get any chat from the boys? And obviously, if that place was packed, it would be a really different feeling to the whole thing. Does that give England more of an advantage than they would have had?
Yeah, I think so. I think, them playing there today is certainly, a better time to play Wales than rather than having 80,000 drunk Welshmen in the stands screaming at them. But look, I think, unfortunately, like you said, I haven't played or experienced it yet. Mike could tell you that. But from what I do know, it sounds like, I think the club game's certainly a lot harder to mentally get yourself up every week. I think the monotony of that sounds like a bit of a challenge. But apart from the unusual quietness of a test, this game, I don't think will lack intensity or attitude. So usually I would say it has a big effect, but I think this game's got enough on it to get the players pretty excited. If you can't get yourself excited, in these moments, you might as well sit on the couch like me. So there won't be a problem today. But look, I think it's a real shame though that it's not allowed today, because it's a great day here in Cardiff, and it would have been, you could just picture Cardiff now. It would have been full probably at about 10 o'clock this morning. So it's a shame for everyone, really, isn't it, that we can't quite get back there, and hopefully it's the last time that this happens. But look, I think England will be pretty happy that they're going there without fans, definitely.
You enjoy the bus trip in Cardiff from the hotel to the stadium, Mike, as an England player?
I mean, it's an interesting one, but it is one of the enjoyable parts of playing in Millennium Stadium. For me, it's like the best away game that I've ever experienced, and that trip in through Cardiff on the bus is all part of it. We've had young kids, to old age pensioners flipping us the V, and we've even had a granny head on the bus once, so that was interesting. But when you're rolling through Cardiff with a massive black bus with a huge red rose on it, it stands out, and it just comes flying out of the pubs just to give you that nice Welsh welcome, waving their hand but with their fist clenched the other way around. So it's great. It's actually great to experience that on the bus. You do have a smile, and it really gets everything going ready for the game. And as you arrive at the stadium, you then dip down into the stadium, and then it's quiet. So, and then it's just all about the game. But no, it's a great experience.
I would imagine, Mike, and I could be wrong here, but are you the kind of person that gets a bit of motivation from that?
Oh yeah, I think most players do at that level. That's why we play the game, to experience those atmospheres. To play at the highest level, to play against the best players. All those things give you that motivation. We're all massively competitive animals. That's why we've managed to reach what we've reached and do what we do. We thrive off that. So yeah, I think I'm not the only one that would say that that's what they love.
Who did you love playing against, Mike? Who when you went against Wales, who did you love playing against? Who really got the blood up and the pulse racing?
Gareth.
I don't believe that. Gareth's a nice guy. I don't believe that.
I know, that's why I liked him. He's probably the only one that didn't give me all that shit. Look, any of them in that Welsh jersey, whoever's wearing that Welsh jersey, you're massively up for. So yeah, I just see that Welsh jersey when I'm playing, and that motivates me enough.
Gareth, you must have played with some of the guys in the England team. What's it like when you're playing against people you know? Is that easier, harder, or does it not matter?
Playing against people you know, sorry, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I can only liken it to playing against a brother in a way. Really, it's not to say that it's like I suppose when you have a brother, you fight and you want to win the fight, but it doesn't stop you from being good mates afterwards. And in my case, knowing a few, probably my experience, that's probably playing a few New Zealand boys with the All Blacks. You want to beat them even more because it means so much to you. So, look, I'm sure a lot of these boys have played with and against each other through the club scene or all of the Lions. So it adds to it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a funny one. Right, we've got some pictures of people who are tuning in. So this is into people's living rooms, or depending on if we've got the pic from Nairobi, we might be in their back garden. I've not seen your setups, gents. Oh yes, Mike, I think they're on your team.
Wrong jersey.
We're in the Canterbury rather than the Umbro. What's your thoughts on the Umbro kit, Mike?
I think it's quite good, old school. I quite like it. I mean, you're not going to deviate much from white shirt with a red trim, are you? So it kind of doesn't matter who's making the kit. Yeah, I quite like it. It's nice.
To be fair, they're I quite like what they did for the test against Scotland. Was it old the replica of 100 something years? That was quite cool, I thought.
Yeah, the vintage look. It looked good.
Yeah.
Very cool. Aidan Charlie looking good. There we go. Look at that. In Nairobi.
Brilliant.
Simon and Lara. I'm massively jealous. That just looks magnificent. Yeah, loving that setup. Oh, what have we got there? Legends. What's the club? Alexis and Mark looking very cool. Don't know who they're supporting though.
Yeah,
you reckon they're? I don't know.
Well,
good. Yeah, you claiming them as well just because we had England?
Yeah, we'll claim them.
I was going to say they're quite normal, so they must be English. I'm only joking, everyone. I'm only joking. I love the Welsh. Lovely people.
As you get closer to kickoff, what's hang on, what's this one, Mike? Who's your favourite Spice Girl?
Baby Spice, blonde one. Baby Spice.
Yeah. Gareth, have you got a favourite Spice Girl?
I feel like it's sort of changed throughout time.
Does that mean you now like Sporty Spice?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, look, it was Baby Spice. Yeah, look, it probably still is, to be fair. I'm gonna say I think it was Baby Spice.
So Baby Spice gets 3 votes. I'm wondering where that question came from. I thought there must have been a bit of niggle in there, Mike. There's nothing going on between you and the Spice Girls?
No, not that I know of. Was that from Visser? Was that from Visser?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that from Visser?
I don't know who that's from. I just wondered if there was any kind of niggle there from a Grand Slam party that maybe you'd forgotten about, or no?
No, I don't think so.
TV showed pictures of George North. Look at him go. When did he start? You must have played against him a few times, Mike. Good guy?
Yeah, really nice guy. Not so much when he's run at you with his size and pace and running over you, but no, he's a really nice guy. Gareth will know him more better than I do. I've only known him on the field, but yeah, decent guy, and obviously brilliant player with his size and pace. He's going to be a handful today.
What's your thoughts about him being a 13 instead of a winger, Gareth? Is that to try and get him involved a bit more and a bit quicker?
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think a couple of years ago when they tried it, I don't think it was the greatest move. But I think where George is now in his career, I thought, I think he played Georgia, was it in autumn last year, and I thought he made a pretty good fist at it. And I think Look, I don't think Wales are blessed with a lot of midfielders at the moment, or have been in the past, and I think George moving in one as he's getting a little bit older, and also the way the game's going. I think the game's not going old school, but I think it's shown that you need to get across the advantage line, and Big Georgie, 110 kilos, he can certainly do that. So I think it suits him now. I thought he played pretty well in the last couple of tests, and I think he deserves to stay at 13. So, hopefully he goes well today in his big 100th.
There's some young whippersnappers
Gareth,
out wide.
Did you just say as he gets older? How old is he? 28?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mate,
28.
if that's the case, I'm going to end up in prop next week. Jesus, 28. Should be in his prime.
Well, yeah, true. He's played a lot of rugby, mind, though, hasn't he? So
true.
Look, I think a part of it is purely down to the fact that, when Foxy's been out injured and he's had a lot of injuries since the World Cup, Wales have really struggled for someone now down that 13 spot. And that's why, Foxy's now moved in one at 12 and I think Georgie's at 13. So, look, I think Georgie certainly deserves to start at 13. I don't know if, Foxy getting 12 would have been my pick today, but we'll see after today.
Right, let's talk about 12 for Wales. Mike, why is Jamie Roberts not starting for Wales today? Man's been on fire. He's been on fire.
I don't watch much of that league.
I was going to say, here we go. Let's throw some crap at the Pro 14.
Yeah, I don't watch Pro 14. It's just the standard's too low for me. Championship. I watch Championship first, and then I'll. No, I've heard he's been playing well. I've heard he's. Sorry.
I said when you're a bit bored, you might watch Pro 14.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look, I've heard he's been playing well. To be fair to him, so if he's been playing well enough, he deserves a call up. But the problem is, I think everyone looks at age first, don't they? So he's probably looking at his age, as in Pivac's looking at his age and thinking, try the guys. I quite like the look at Foxy at 12. I'd be interested to see how he goes because he is someone getting on a bit and. He's had some injuries. So maybe moving in one. Not saying he's old, but moving in one position to 12.
Yeah.
He could actually work. So I'm interested to see how he goes.
Yeah, I think
Gareth, why is Jamie not at 12? Why is Jamie Roberts not at 12?
I'll say first. I think if Wayne Pivac's going to try and get Foxy to the World Cup, he's going to have to play 12. I think. Look at the ages he'll be at the World Cup and when rugby's played in his injuries, I don't think he'll be able to have the same sort of effect that he used to have at 13. So I think now this is the time to try him. And I think, all these coaches these days have, mainly 4-year cycles and they're all thinking they're all going to get judged in the World Cup. And even though Jamie would have gone very close, I think he's had a few discussions and was playing really well. I think they've come back to ask themselves, will he be our man at the World Cup? And that's probably what's maybe made them think, they'd rather bloody youngster and someone like Johnny Williams.
Pivac was getting a hard time. He was going to lose his job, and then 2 red cards, and all of a sudden he's going for a Grand Slam.
That's all it takes, eh?
Is Farrell in a bit of trouble today, Mike? Do you reckon he could pick it? He's the one. Social media is full of Owen Farrell shoulder, red card. Will he behave himself today?
Yeah, look, I think in the past we might have, but it seems like he's worked on that side of his game a bit and worked on his technique most recently. But I almost think it might take him a little bit out of the sting out of his tackles now that he seems to have worked on it or maybe thinking about it too much. I guess that's what these laws do, don't it? So, hopefully he doesn't for England's sake. But no, he's been all right so far, so I think he'll be fine.
Are you a Farrell at 10 or 12, man?
Yeah, I'd play at 12. I just think he maybe stifles the attack at the moment. At 10, the the problem England have got is he's so key to them because he's their captain. He's their energy driver. He lifts the energy in the team. He's their emotional driver. He's a big character in the camp. He's sort of an extension of Eddie. He's the link between the players and Eddie. He's the guy Eddie turns to get his messages through to the players. So you kind of have to then fit him into the team somewhere. And I just think 12 is probably the position for him to slot into at the moment. And there's probably not a lot of option at 12. Yeah, I think I would have started him today just because they haven't given other guys enough opportunities. Not that there is a lot of options elsewhere. There's Ollie Lawrence, but we haven't seen enough of him. I would have played Ollie.
You would have known that back when they did.
Yeah, I think I would have, but only because, like I said before, they've missed opportunities to try other guys. So then you can't chuck them in against a Welsh team that goes well in such a big fixture with the guys a bit on the back ropes. You can't just chuck them in. So yeah, I probably would have gone for that back line they've chosen today.
Question for Mike: the England lack of intensity against Scotland reflect any potential leadership issues from Adrian?
No, I don't think it's leadership issues for me. I just think the lack of intensity was because, well, I guess for some guys it was maybe lack of game time. Mainly those Sarries guys, which if you look at the English team, their spine is those Sarries guys, and Gareth will know that the spine of a team is so important. Your hooker, your second row, your 8, your 9, the 10, and fullback. Well, apart from the 9, that's all Saracens. So their lack of game time will have an effect on the intensity, and I just think they were slightly off. And also, I think England don't normally start campaigns too well. Whether we win or lose, I've experienced it. For some reason, we don't start campaigns very well. So if you add that into the mix as well, and you're playing against a hungry Scottish team who, last time they played at Twickenham, they actually got a decent result and could have won. So they're confident, they're keen because it's a massive rivalry and they're playing England and all that thrown into it. If you're slightly off against a team like that, then you're going to come on the wrong side of a beating, and they did.
Gareth, surely somebody's going to have a niggle at Owen Farrell. Is he somebody that they would target for a bit of chat?
I don't know. I think it's probably, you'd say him and Dan Bigger are the same sort of personalities, aren't they? Very competitive and both prone to not niggle, but you can wind them up just like you can wind up Mike and the rest of them. So I'm sure there'll be a little bit of it, but like we see with Eddie, I'm sure he reminded the guys like Sinclair and Genge and them just to focus on the result because that's all that matters.
Are you a Farrell at 10 or 12, man?
I think he's a 12, but if I was a coach, I would want, if he's a 12, I want Tuolungi at 13. Otherwise, I don't think I'm picking him.
Wow.
Only because I just look, it's not he's a quality player. You don't have his CV without being a test match animal, and he's a fantastic player. But I just, like Mike said, I don't know where his position is at the moment in the England squad. I don't know if he's their best 10, and I think he's a good 12. But then I think if you have a Henry Slade at 13. I just think they lack a little bit of size at 10, 12, and 13. And that's why I think when Tuolungi's in the team, he's such a freak, such a beast. Yeah.
Gareth, the players that are available for England, who would you have picked in that backline?
Well,
because obviously Tuolangi's not fit, is he?
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's fair. Well, the only other thing it's tough because I don't watch enough of the Premiership because I watched the Pro 14. I don't know, mate. I think I honestly think I would have gambled and backed Lawrence. I think I would have put Lawrence you know what? I'd even think about playing Henry Slade at 12 if I was England. Because I don't think he's been himself either. I don't think Henry Slade's found himself while playing outside Farrell and Ford or whoever it is. So I think he's struggling as well. So I think I would have backed Old Lawrence. I think I would have given him a string of games to have a crack. And like you said, that's why that Italian game didn't make any sense for me. It's such a tough one for them. Like you say, Eddie's put his hat on Beck and Owen, and it could be the down, the not the downside of Eddie, but he's certainly looking rusty at the moment for me.
How does all this chat around Owen Farrell affect somebody like George Ford, Mike, or does it not?
Sorry, I missed that.
How does the chat? There's so much chat about Owen Farrell. Is he 10? Is he 12? Where does he play? So important. How does that impact on somebody like George Ford, or does it not matter to George Ford?
Yeah, I don't think for George, he worries too much. He's the ultimate professional, so he'll have his mind clear of what he needs to do. I can imagine if I was him, I'd be frustrated a lot because when I play 10, I want to be the main man. I want to be calling shots, everything that goes with being a 10. But if you've got Owen next to you, who's the captain, who's such a big influence on the squad, he's a very dominating character. When he walks into the room, like I said, he's the extension of Eddie. He'll have him next to you, and Owen will want to naturally call some of the shots as well. I think for me, I'd be frustrated if I was forward. It would annoy me a little bit. I'd want to have a go on my own. Gareth will know more than me playing 10, obviously, so he could probably have a better knowledge of that sort of thing. But for me, if I just want to have show what I can do without him next to me. And that's why I think they missed an opportunity against the Italians. To get 10 on his own, with Ollie still in the team, Slade outside, to see what Fordy can do without Owen next to him, with the rest of that back line, who we haven't seen too much of.
Slade's a quality operator. He's got pretty much everything in his game, Gareth. So are you thinking that England are not picking players to get the most out of him?
Look, I'm also a fan of picking guys in not pairs, but I think you need to pick guys to complement each other. I think you can't just pick, so and so and not say you want to pick out obviously everyone in their best position, but from what I've been seeing in the current rugby climate, I just think if the ball's a bit slow and your king game's going nowhere, you need someone to give you some punch in the middle. And I think England lack that. And particularly while they don't have the likes of Jack Noel, Cocker Singer's out, they don't have a big winger, do they? So they've got May and Watson who are greyhounds out wide, who've got good footwork and quick, but they don't like to run in traffic. That's not their job. And you got Elliot Daly, who's very similar like that. So for me, they require a lot of their go for needs to come from up front. So they've almost got so many options that they're confused by them, I think. And I just think the game at the moment requires that you need to get someone to get you some go forward and some punch. I mean, I was just thinking before, Mike, I wonder, again, I haven't watched enough rugby, but I've always thought someone like Ollie Devoto, who's a big man who seems good with the ball in his hands, but can give you some punch. Maybe he's an option for them, but, I haven't seen maybe enough for him to say, he's their man, but I'm just thinking other options for them.
What's this like? You've just warmed up for 45 minutes. You've been in the changing room. You've got the heart going, and then you have to stand still. We sort of spoke to Jamie Roberts about this a couple of weeks ago. The Welsh Anthem's one to beat the chest, Gareth, and gets people going. Mike, what's your feeling on God Save the Queen? Do you enjoy singing that?
Yeah, I love it. I've grown up watching English teams singing it, being pumped just watching it, but then to be able to do it, playing for your country, singing the national anthem, like it's an experience and something you can't describe. Like it's unbelievable.
Were you a
when you're
singer?
lining up
Did
laps
did
and then
you
it's
did you
going
give
off
it
and you're
big
seeing it.
links? Did you really go for it? Did you sing it?
Oh, of course, yeah. As loud as I could, because I definitely wasn't the worst singer as well. So Ben Youngs, I never forget this. Like the first time I heard him sing the national anthem. Oh, I was like, I was looking at who's making that noise. Honestly, and it was him. He was two or three guys down the line, and he was literally. But fair play to him, he was going for it. But his voice is absolutely awful. Honestly, it was like a foghorn, and I was like, "Who's making that noise?" So yeah, but no, I was definitely a singer.
Gareth, when we had Visser on, and I've known Vis for a while, he's obviously a plastic Scotsman, and he used to get stitched up quite a lot. They used to make him sing Flower of Scotland, and it took him a good dozen goes before he got it right. What were you like with the anthem?
I think it took me about 2.5 years to learn
Have you learnt the words yet?
it. Look, it wasn't until Helly Pikes came and made his debut and he nailed his anthem word for word that kind of put me to shame. I did want to learn it, but I didn't know where to start. And it wasn't until Hadley did it. I eventually sat down with Ken Owens, which I probably should have just done from the get-go, and we would have some lessons together at night, and I would get him to sing it, and I would just write it down in English phonetically, what it would sound like to me. So the words I was writing were obviously nowhere near it, but I could understand it and at least understand the pronunciation. So I finally got there. So I will not be singing it, but I do now know it, thankfully.
What an absolute heathen! What an absolute heathen!
To be fair, even when I was coming over to Wales, the boys I was playing Super Rugby with at the Chiefs, they were saying when they knew I was coming here, they did tell me, literally how lucky I was in a way that, coming to Wales, the Millennium Stadium at the time, the Principal, now they, by far their most favourite ground to come and play a test in, and when it's a sold out stadium, the anthem's pretty special.
When you hear a whole stadium sing, that you guys are on the field, Mike, when Twickenham 80,000 odd people break into swing low, do you care when you're on the field? People say, "Oh, I can't hear anything. I'm so focused." But when they start singing "Swing Low" and you're a few points up, is that a big motivator?
Oh yes, honestly, it's incredible. Like the lift you get from that, the swing low is amazing. And one of the best experiences actually that I had playing rugby was when we were beating Wales at the Millennium Stadium, and by the end of the game, all you could hear was swing low. That was amazing because obviously it was there. It meant the Welsh were quiet, so I wasn't getting all that nonsense as usual. And you said swing low, it's such a iconic song for an Englishman. So yeah, that was an amazing experience.
Gareth, in Kiwi, it's a bit different. The Waikato have their cowbells and their Mulu chant, and I don't know what you get up in Auckland because they're Jaffas and don't make a lot of noise unless they're winning. So what's it like with Millennium singing Delilah or Bread of Heaven? I absolutely love. Do you focus on that? Can you get emotional energy from that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, probably my favourite time in the stadium's been when we won the slam there, a couple of years ago, and we were lucky enough because we had the game, under control for the majority of the match, but particularly the last 20 minutes. When the crowd started singing Delilah and Land of My Fathers and things like that, where you could actually enjoy it rather than just focusing on the game. And I remember a scrum with about 10 to go and the crowd just going nuts, and you were able just to kind of take it a little bit, and because we knew we had the game pretty much sewn up, we're able to enjoy it, and it is just an unbelievable feeling. It's the fans are sort of second to none, and they certainly know how to sing.
How do you describe that to your mates in black?
Yeah, well, look, a few of them have have witnessed it themselves, so they know what I'm talking about. So, like I said, they love playing in Cardiff, and they definitely like going out in Cardiff afterwards. So it goes hand in hand.
Mike, did you give Liam Williams a bit of stick for his legs? I don't know. You guys probably won't know Jim Leighton, who was a Scottish goalkeeper who had legs like that, and obviously being a goalkeeper with legs like that was dangerous. But those are outrageous. I think the game started with what we're going to get for most of the game, isn't it? We've had a few kicks already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wales looking strong though in their carries.
I think both teams are looking at sort of like we sort of spoke pre-match. Definitely a fair like kicking strategy wise. Taking their kicking game up past halfway and not being afraid to bomb. Teams just outside between two.
Did you relish that, Mike, standing at fullback, coming onto a high ball when you knew you were just going to time it where you could still keep coming forward? Is that a part of the game you like?
That's a try. Just scored.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
How does that come from? Wow.
Oh, he's not happy.
Oh, he's kicking right off. What? How's that come? I'll take that.
It's not like him.
We will say it. Yeah. Wow. I will take that.
God, he gets a lot of tries, doesn't he, Josh? Josh Adams gets a lot of tries, doesn't he?
What happens now to game plan?
What's happening here? Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
It's
great
completely
kick.
switched off, haven't they?
Great kick.
Oh, no.
Yeah, to be fair, that looks like a fair try.
Is that something that's come from analysis, or is that just off the cuff?
That's off the cuff, that. I think, to be fair, it's something that
Yeah,
Biggs
it's got to be off
always,
the cuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for Biggs, that's always part of his game. He likes, particularly at penalty kicks and touch, he likes to inject a bit of tempo. You'll see him doing it for Saints a lot. He'll just, they have a penalty and he'll just go straight away and try to get as long as he can and find some space. So he's done the same again there, more or less.
It's not a bad way for Josh Adams to come back into the squad, Gareth.
Yeah, well, he's been a little bit dry lately, hasn't he? He hasn't scored for a little while and hasn't really had much ball. So I'm sure that'll do his confidence the world of good, considering great kick. Considering, the little bit of contention he's had lately. So a nice start. I think Mike might have mentioned it on Wednesday. It'll be interesting to see how they play a little bit of catch-up of rugby, really.
Yeah, see there, Gareth. This is what frustrates me, right? So they've got a penalty advantage, and they've moved it one pass, and Farrell's just kicked it. But he's got the whole backline and extra players. That just frustrates me. They've got a chance to have a go, and you said great kick, which it was, but then they just go straight back for the penalty. So it's just like you might as well have had a go.
No, fair. I actually didn't realise they had the penalty advantage. Do you think that's something that they've just had drilled into them for the last 6 months? Because it wasn't until I think I saw the first test against Scotland I saw a tweet saying this is what happens when you've just been told to kick, and I think Farrell kicked like a 7v3 down the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And he's a smart footballer.
Yeah,
so
yeah, for whatever
wonder what's
reason, I don't know
the
if it's coaching, if it's coaching, if it's confidence. For some reason, their first thought at the moment, or certain players' first thought is, right, we're going to kick it. Like there, I just think those outside backs must be absolutely screaming for it. I would be if I was there. You've got a chance of a one-on-one with a free play. Try something. What's the point of just drilling it into the corner?
Yeah, no, good point. Do they have the type of outside backs or personnel to have a crack at Owen there? Because, you imagine if that was Owen out wide and he wanted the ball, after that he's probably having a fair go at them. Do you think they've got that relationship there that guys will have a crack at Owen for doing that? Is that what they're missing there?
Yeah. Well,
more than
yeah,
me,
I think you're right. I think you're right. From my experiences, he is a very strong character within the group. So, you do have to pick your battles with someone like Owen. And me and him can be very similar in that sense. When we want something, we say it quite directly, and he's like that. And I'm not sure that other guys outside him would be. I thought Elliot would be. He can be. So, I don't know if they are calling or what, but something needs to change. I think in that mindset of having a go, especially when they've got a free shot like that.
So after
look
that,
at what they
Mike,
did against,
would you have a pop at them?
The...
Would you have a pop at them, Mike, afterwards? Would you go and say, why didn't we shift that? Why didn't we have a go? Would you have had a crack at them for that?
Yeah, well, I think I would have definitely asked the question. The problem with me and Owen is because we're quite similar. There's no point in me going at him because then he will come straight back. We're quite similar in terms of being quite direct. So you have to do it in the right way, which Gareth will understand with certain players. If he went at me at something, I'm quite direct back. So you just end up, clashing, butting heads a bit. So you have to pick your battles and you have to do it the right way with certain people. But Owen, like I said, is a very big character within the squad. So
I think it's just important to know what you're seeing, isn't it? Like, it's all well and good if you're not hot-headed, but if you're pretty direct, that's fine. It's just there's no reason whether you've got 100 caps or 2 caps. If you believe what you saw is the right thing, then I think nothing changes on a rugby pitch, does it? I think sometimes guys come on the club scene and they'll do that at a club level and come into the top scene, and suddenly a guy that's a bit of a superstar, they'll be too afraid to say things. And I think you've got to remember to stay yourself and not be afraid to, like I said, Brownie, to have a crack at guys if you believe what you saw was the right thing.
What's the sheriff like, Gareth?
Yeah, he's a top man, Ken. Just a great team man. He, you know what you can get with Ken as well. He always brings so much effort, so much passion for the jersey too. He just absolutely will do anything for the jersey. A really proud Welshman, and he's been a great servant to Welsh rugby. And we've missed him the last 6 months. I think we've missed him a little bit. So it's been great to have him back.
Breakdown's competitive, Brownie.
Sorry, boys, just going loot.
Yeah, it was always going to be, wasn't it? It was always going to be with these two teams, especially with the operators they've got. But it's such a big thing now in rugby, especially at the highest level. The breakdown, it can win or lose games, has a massive impact on momentum and things like that. So, it's always going to be.
Mike, who's the best player you've ever faced when you were playing for England? From Dave.
Who's just playing? Best player I've faced playing for England would probably be Dan Carter. Just because, you know, he had the whole package. But also playing against him, he could just pick out space as soon as it was there. He knew the players that had switched off for a split second. He knew the areas of weakness within a split second. So playing against him, especially in a back three, I played against him both at fullback and on the wing, I think. We just had to be on it the whole time, because if you switched off, he'd be kicking balls behind you. He'd be doing crossfield kicks. He'd be doing little grubbers. So you constantly had to be, you know, mentally switched on when you played against him. So yeah, he was tough.
Were you ever in awe of anybody, Mike? Was there ever anybody you played against and they got the better of you, or were you always just, they're just somebody else I'm going to knock over?
No.
I thought you might say that.
No one in awe.
I thought you might say that. When you said you watched them singing the anthem and you watched England growing up, who was the player that got you excited? Who was your hero?
To be honest, I don't think I had one player that was a hero. I just loved watching rugby, all teams, all countries, and just sort of picking the bits I liked out of certain individuals. So, you know, I used to love Serge Blanco, showing my age a bit there, as a fullback. You know, to players like Peter Winterbottom, again, not many people on here would know if they're a bit younger than me. You know, great back row player. You know, loved him. Christian Cullen, Percy Montgomery, if I'm just looking at fullbacks, you know, Chris Latham, people like that. So I just tried to watch all sorts of players and pick as much as I could out of the guys that I like the most, really.
Gareth, watching Wales growing up, who was your hero?
To be fair, can
you name a player?
No, look. To be fair, I always had a soft spot for Neil Jenkins, which has been funny that, you know, since I've been involved with Wales,
Yeah.
he's been you know,
What a legend.
Kicking coach. But I loved him as a kid too. You know, a little ginger running around, great goal kicker. I always used to love, you know, watching guys kick the goal as well, and he was the best in the world for a while. And kept Wales in games for so many years. And, you know, now that I've got to know him, you know, he's even more of a legend in person, just a great bloke, and has helped my game tremendously with my kicking, his knowledge. Just a great bloke. A lot of good stories to tell as well. So it's been nice to meet him as well, you know, and spend some time with Jinx over the years. And yeah, he'd have to be my favourite player. When I was growing up.
Absolutely dodged the bullet there.
You've literally said him. You've literally said him because you're your coach. Because he's your coach. He's the only one you know. That's why you've named him.
I'm hoping he'll pick me in 6 months' time.
But what a boy, Neil Jenkins. He goes to South Africa with the 97 Lions, and because they know how important goal kicking is, they make him into a 15, and he just kicked the leather off it.
With the old sand.
Yeah.
The old cup sand. He was one of the best, wasn't he? But look, I think too, I remember when Wales played the All Blacks in the 2003 World Cup in Sydney, you know, Shane Williams came on and he carved up as well. It was a good game as well. You know, I think the All Blacks won, from memory, it was a high scoring game, but I remember Shane Williams, you know, came alive in that game, and I think his career more or less started off the back of that as well.
Yeah, bit of class. So, being now genuine, Gareth, growing up in Kiwi, who is it you watched and thought that's how to do it? I'll let you finish your Chris, don't worry.
Sorry. I used to love Jeff Wilson. Goldie, fullback, wing, fullbacks. He played cricket as well, which I did growing up. I idolised Jeff for some reason. He scored a lot of tries and always had some try scoring celebrations, which I thought were pretty cool growing up. And then, as I've got older, and I knew sort of fly half was my position. It was hard to go past Carlos Spencer and Dan Carter.
Yes, love Carlos.
Yeah, I was a Blues supporter, and when they won the Super Rugby title in 2003, they had an unbelievable backline, and Carlos was just untouchable. The things he did that year were unbelievable, and he was pretty special to watch too.
Yeah, love Carlos.
I have to say, Wales are playing some bloody good rugby.
Great kick. Oh.
This is making me nervous. Have you seen on Twitter? I agreed to a bet with Scott Baldwin.
No, what have you done with Scott?
Sorry, can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're keen to hear about this bet.
Yeah, I bet that if Wales won, that I'd train all week in a Wales jersey, and now I'm worried. It's going to absolutely kill me. I might ask for another rest week. What have I done?
You did say when that Welsh jersey was all you needed for your motivation.
We're not wearing it though.
You think this is a try?
No. Oh no, surely not.
Surely not. It's gone off his leg, hasn't it? Backwards.
Nah, they've had enough luck this tournament, so.
Brilliant. I love
it.
Don't
give it. Don't.
What?
Mike, Mike, as an Englishman, would you rather lose to Scotland or to Wales?
He's going to say, I don't want to lose to anybody.
Lose to Scotland.
Really?
No one, but I've had to choose Scotland, yeah.
At least you can take pride that you've lost to a decent.
You don't realise the amount of abuse. It's the abuse. The abuse I've had over the years, it's psychologically damaged me. Honestly, I still get it now, and I don't even play. I get it now, and I don't even play. He can't give this.
I think don't know what you think, Mike, but I think Wales have got the ball to the edge a little bit easier than I thought they might in this game.
Yeah,
they've got the ball to both edges quite effectively a couple times already.
Yeah, usually England's defence really cut that out before guys could get before the back line can get two passes away. They usually cut it out quite well because they have quite a high press from the outside. But it doesn't seem like they're getting it at the moment. But do you reckon that's? Wow. I think that's because of. Oh no! Oh no!
Hey, what size are you? Size large? I'll send one up there.
Oh no!
Let's go back. Great decision.
The worst thing is, right, if I lose this bet, the problem is not wearing it. The problem is there's going to be so many people taking photos of it. I'm never going to be able to get rid of it. That's the problem.
You have Scott literally following you around with the phone.
Oh, honestly, he's probably. In fact, I'm going to message him now. I bet he's so smug.
I need to jump on Twitter now and see this.
Scott Baldwin is probably just looking for other people to cop some stick after him trying to feed a lion, though.
Yeah, that is true. But I think that one incident is going to get him a lot of after dinner speaking, isn't it? So actually, for a little bit of pain, I think he quite enjoys it deep down.
I love it whenever he stood next to a British lion, and it always says how
as if he's hit the post and got in.
Great
as if he's hit.
Great kick.
I mean, surely Wales got to be the luckiest team in this tournament right now.
That's when you know England are on the brink. They start saying these little things.
Right, Dan Biggar has had his hair done. Mike, maybe this is it.
Don't be jealous.
But maybe we could get them points docked. There's no way somebody in the Welsh camp has cut Dan Biggar's hair.
Yeah, I can't see.
Actually,
Honestly, I'm too rattled about this game, to be honest, to worry about his hair.
I think one of the physios have been doing it in the Welsh camp.
Yeah, I believe you, Gareth.
No, I swear, I think it is.
Let's get the game cancelled from COVID.
Yeah, that's it. I reckon
COVID.
Josh Adams brought some clippers back into the camp.
COVID rules broken. We need to cancel the game. Go on. Oh no. Oh no.
See, for me, Mike, if my point with that there, now that's not a bad move, and this could be ultra critical, but if you've got a big man, I think you're going to stop one or two of the midfielders. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna hold someone, aren't you? There, so
like okay, let's take Tuolangi out because we know he's a freak. But like, if Tuolangi's there, he's stopping two guys by himself because if you don't stand in front of him with probably another body, he's going to go straight through. And I think that's what they're lacking: just someone to stop defenses, just being able to push off as much. That's all.
that's it. The whole point of having a move is so that you create one man over. But if they're just being allowed to drift off, it just becomes a man on man. And Manu is one of the world's best at, either making a line bust or holding someone with a good line.
Pro 14's looking okay, Gareth.
It's a good competition,
No
mate.
comment, mate. None of them play. None of them play. None of them play in it. They all have weeks off,
Scotland win at Twickenham. Wales are looking good. I tell you what, Pro 14's looking okay to me.
Half of these lot are championship players anyway, so it's fine.
You think England go to the corner here or take the shot?
Go corner. Yeah, there you go. Corner. Drive them over.
This is a big moment, though.
Yeah, agree. If they get something just before half time, that's a good outcome.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good penalty count for Wales so far. Only 4 given.
Well, we've lost him, Gareth. He's had enough.
He's just turned it off, has he? He's had enough.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. Toys are out the pram. He's done.
I thought it'd taken a little bit longer than 30 minutes.
Oh, there's one for you, Gareth. What advice would you give to young players who want to play for their national team? From Felix, age 9. Good on you, Felix.
Hi, Felix. I think most importantly, I think at a young age, it's important just to have fun and play with your mates. I think that's why we play the game. My advice. Oh, here's a try. That's a good try. That. My advice would be to just work on the simple things. I think really important to catch, pass off both hands, feel comfortable, get the ball in your hands. And when I was a kid growing up, I played a lot of touch rugby, which was good for my skill development, and played a lot of cricket. So I think your hand-eye coordination is really important. So learn to kick off your good foot, learn to kick off your bad foot, and feel comfortable being able to pass off both hands. I think really you learn those little micro skills, the better your game will be as you get older.
Any of your mates that you grew up with, did they become rugby players?
I mean, not from like childhood school, not from real young. I mean, a lot of my mates played rugby in high school with me, and then sort of just played club rugby and then went on to their different careers and things like that. So none of them have really come through the age grades with me. Oh, maybe one, Jack Whitten, who's a lock for the Waratahs. Oh, Mike, funny, he just came on as
he's back.
Yeah, I was doing a run and then I saw we scored, so I came back.
Well played. No doubt to you, Christian. I think, look, I played with, I don't know if you remember Gary Whitten, famous All Black.
Yeah.
A legend. His son and I went to the same high school and we played a fair bit of rugby together. He's been at the Highlanders and now he's just signed at the Waratahs. So he played this morning. I don't know how they went on. I assume they lost because they got spanked last weekend. But
Jack's got a brother as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah, family Giants, mate. They're all 7 foot.
His brother was in Hong Kong. I think his brother played in Hong Kong, didn't he?
William. He wouldn't play in the tens. Will played a lot in France. He played for Cars, I think. Then he played a bit of Pro D2 stuff. I think he's back in New Zealand now. And then Jack's younger brother Louis, who was just playing for the club rugby in England, and I think now is back in New Zealand, running around. Oh.
See that charge down? That was unbelievable.
They've had 2 now, haven't they?
Anthony Watson's got 21 tries for England.
Yeah, he's a good, sharp finisher. Good finisher he is.
He doesn't always get a lot of credit, though.
Do you know what I think? I think he gets quite a lot of coverage. To be fair, he's a good player.
You like him more on the wing, though, don't you, Mike?
Yeah. No, I do think. No, I do think. All seriously, I think he's a better winger. Like I prefer him on the wing. I just think he's such a good finisher, strong, quick. I think it suits him better. I do think he could get into the game a bit more, especially with the attributes he's got. I think they could get him into the game a bit more. Yeah,
really good feet, and he's strong too.
Yeah, get off his wing. Look, they're moving it wide now, so we actually look quite good. Oh, that's a good turnover. Jeez.
Oh, well done. Oh, you're ahead of me, Mike. Great turnover.
Second best fullback in the game at turnovers, Liam is.
Who's the first?
Played for a gut.
I think Wales need to be careful about Atoje at box kicks. He's already had Hardy once, and he's been good at it all campaign, actually. Now that they've taken out that sort of caterpillar, but he's so effective at it. It could cost them soon, I think.
He's just such a big man to try and get the ball over, isn't he? Like, his arms are
he's just
so long.
He's just so rangy, isn't he? Just like all arms and legs. And
yeah.
Oh,
here we go. Oh, no.
Oh,
what a 40. Good boy. It's the first tackle 40's ever made.
It's a seatbelt tackle.
No, come on. Give him it. It's the first tackle. It's the first tackle he's made all his career.
Yeah. Oh, he's done a shoulder.
Who?
Hardy.
Ooh. Good tackle.
That's gone right over the shot. Wow.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He's lucky he's only 65 kilos, because if he was a big man, go on have a rest, mate.
Like I said, I think everyone was just stunned he made the tackle, to be honest.
Mike, you think England will be happy going to the shids with the scoreline now?
Yeah, I think so. Especially after the start they had. It's only 6 points, isn't it? They're starting to do a bit more now, getting themselves in the game. So,
to be fair to them, I thought I thought Scotland had one of the best games in history, and you think England played poorly, and that, they're only 6 points behind at one stage, and you thought they could have stolen that. So I'll be thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Gents, who's impressed you first half then? Gareth, who's impressed you first half?
It's a hard one,
No one's really stood out too much, have they?
I can't say with all this. Liam Williams had a couple of nice touches. He covered well on that charge down on Tojo's, had a good turnover, and obviously scored a try, so he's had a couple of good moments. I can't say, like Mike said, I can't say anyone's really standing out.
Good ball.
Oh, wow.
See, we actually look quite dangerous when we play some rugby.
It's a great offload by Farrell.
I'm going for 40 man of the match first half. Great tackle, good pass.
You loving that tackle?
Oh, well done, Foxy. Oh.
Back into it now.
Yeah.
Do you think
the team moving the ball?
Do you think that line break initially came off the two centres being quite new 12, new 13?
Yeah.
Paul Reed, do you reckon there? Yeah.
Yeah, George doesn't need to go. He's almost created something for them, hasn't he, really? I don't know if he quite needed to do that.
Whereas he just lines up on Slade, he's got him man and ball, hasn't he?
Yeah, is there any real reason to shoot up there?
No. He's gone for the glory intercept. He's already given that one. He's already given that one. Under the sticks. Big dive on your 100th cap. Big dive under the sticks.
To be fair, I think it's been the best first half we've seen the competition so far, though. Like, finally we've seen some points, and most teams have actually shifted the ball wide and had some good go forward ball, which has been nice to see. I think you're probably right, Mike. I actually think if you're England, you're probably a little bit happier going into half time.
This first half has totally blown your predictions out the water too.
Yeah, which is great.
Well, great. Yeah, I mean, all Wales kick one more penalty and we keep England scoreless, then my 2015 is not too far off.
I'm not convinced the second half's going to be 3-0. The way this is going, it's not going to be 3-0. So, gentlemen, that's brilliant. Let's. So we've got some time to disappear to maybe just get ourselves reset. Let's hear from our sponsors, the magnificent Glen Turret Whiskey, and then we'll talk a little bit more at halftime.
Here, at Scotland's oldest working distillery, everything we do is underpinned by the three touchstones of the Glen Turret Trinity: provenance, prowess, and passion. Our extraordinary provenance is founded upon the long history of this special place, the remarkable endeavours of past generations of owners and distillers, and the unique character of the new make spirit that continues to define the Glen Turret today. Our traditional prowess is built upon the skill and expertise that goes into handcrafted whisky making, an unusually slow distillation process, and a resolute commitment to small batch production. Finally, Our enduring passion reflects our continuing fascination with the tradition of distilling. Our delight in every step of the whisky-making journey, and our deep desire to bring whisky lovers moments to treasure, in spirit and glass. The Glen Turret. By hand and heart since 1763.
Awesome. I thought we were going to come back to some empty couches. So let's have a little look at the maps, because I want to speak to some of these clubs and encourage them to get some pictures in. So if you are from one of those clubs, East Grinstead, let's see your Matt Ratana. Let's get your Matt Ratana gear on here. So get tweeting some pictures. If you're at East Grinstead, I want to hear from you. Alton, you're back. Thank you. Brilliant to see you. Tynedale. I have been to Tynedale as a player and as a coach. I love Tynedale. Alnwick, way back in 2000, I played in the Alnwick pre-season tournament for Gala Rugby Club, and believe it or not, I kicked the winner to win that tournament. Where else have we got? Morpeth. I know Darren Cunningham from the Mighty Peth. So if Darren Cunningham's watching from the Mighty Peth, or anybody that knows Darren Cunningham from Morpeth, get your pictures in. The Mighty Border Park, Landwit Fadra, get your pictures in. Let's see you in your national colours, your club colours. Get your pictures tweeted or to the WhatsApp number, and let's see what you are doing, enjoying Rugby Bash Legends in your living room. I don't know about you, but I am a massive fan of Gareth Anscombe and Mike Brown. I think, and I'm going to say this quietly because they're off the screen, I think I've found my new favourite Welshman and Englishman. Don't tell Dr. Jamie Roberts, because I feel like I'm cheating on him. Hashtag man crush. But how good are Gareth Anscombe and Mike Brown? And being a Scotsman, saying out loud that Mike Brown is my favourite is probably going to lose me some friends. But I think these two are absolutely top drawer. I love it, and I love how passionate they are. I love how they're being friendly, but there's that little niggly undercurrent. It is just perfect. I think they've been fantastic guests. Now, there are some pictures that have come in, but I want a lot more for the full-time whistle. Get your pictures in of your setup and how you're enjoying Rugby Bash Legends in your living room. I want to see some pictures. Now, in the second half, get your nomination in for who you think's going to get man of the match. If you text it to that number there, and you get it right with the BBC pundit selection, so if you match up with the TV, then you have got the chance to win a bottle of Glen Turret whiskey. Why wouldn't you get involved in that? So who do you think, as the game goes, obviously it has to be before the announcement, but get your man of the match, player of the match into this number here, and you go into the hat for a bottle of Glen Turret. That's got to be good. Now, the best photograph of your setup is going to get you a ticket to one of the future Rugby Bash events. So tweet your pictures here so that we can get a look at them. And big handsome Sean from Fill Your Boots, FYB Rugby on Twitter. Give Sean a follow. He's a magnificent guy doing great things for Clubland. Big handsome Sean's pushing the buttons, and he's going to make sure we get those pictures out there. So, Sean, hopefully you're listening. Let's have a look and see how people are watching this game. They've got set up some pretty impressive interior designers. Oh, Gareth's back. Brownie's it. Oh, Felix. Yes. Now, Felix, Gareth was the one who sent you in the the question to ask what to do. So, Felix, I love it. Great to see you. It looks like, Felix, you're supporting Wales. So let's see a big cheer for Felix. Have we got any more pictures, Sean, of who's watching? So we've got Felix, who was asking Gareth for some advice about how to go about becoming a future star. Felix, you look aggressive. You look like you've lost some teeth there too. Dan G. Oh, little Yoda there. Dan, are they your glasses, Dan? Now I'm trying to work out, is that a Bridie? What's that you've got? And tomato sauce, what planet are you on, Dan? Surely that's got to be HP. You're not consuming that with Tommy Katie. Little Yoda, the official beer. So Dan's supporting England, obviously. He's got his official beer of England glass there. And 2 sets of Gregory Specs. The Webbs, yes. We've got some Exeter Chiefs. I wonder what club that is with your black and yellow and green. Face painting to watch the game at home. The Webbs, you have got to be in with a decent shout. And the full size 5 Gilbert too. How bonkers is that? Dad, why have you got shades on? Are you a bit rough? Go on the Webbs. Brilliant. England supporters. Isla, Dave and Kerry, England supporters too. Look, they've got us on the laptop. They've got Eddie on the big screen. I've got those cups. Buy a beer at Twickenham for half the price of your mortgage and you get a free cup. Looking good, like it. Isla, Dave and Kerry. Oh, yes. Help for Heroes. England shirt on. And the cup, the Twickenham cup. I love it. I wonder if that's Isla or Kerry. 6 bells. Yes. Alistair, Gareth, Craig. Somebody called iPad. Alan Stewart. James Reid. Home. There's nobody there. I wonder what that is. Owen looks like he's totally enthralled with the whole thing. Maybe he's just checking us out on his phone. Brilliant. Great to see you, 6 bells. Love it. Really, really good to see people watching at home. Gareth, if you weren't here and you were fit, would you be there watching? Would you be a spectator?
I would have tried to secure myself a lucrative match day experience somewhere, I'm sure. I'm sure Mike would have done the same. He would have sold his soul somewhere to some box, I bet. But yeah, I mean, look, Cardiff on match day, you can't beat it, that's for sure.
Is that something that you boys will look forward to when you eventually hang up the boots, that you get brought back into the box to dazzle people with some repartee and be entertained and go home with a little brown envelope full of folding stuff?
Oh, look, I don't know what you've heard about the Welsh boys. It's not quite the same as England. We don't get the full red carpet they do. But yeah, look, it's important to network, isn't it? So I'll be doing my best to try and weasel my way into the team somehow.
Mike, have you behaved yourself enough? Will you be allowed back? Oh, you're silent, Mike. You're silent. We've lost your sound. I think Gareth sabotaged you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We've got you now.
Yeah. I'll be there in the hospitality, telling everyone how much harder it was back in my day. Don't worry about that.
How much do you listen to the old boys when you see these pundits sitting there? Jeremy Guscott, Martin Johnson, Sam Warburton he's a bit more recent. Do you take any notice of these guys? I take that as a no.
No.
No. Brilliant. Love it. I don't know if you...
It's a funny one, but, I've been out of the game for 2 years, and I feel like the game's moved on a lot in 2 years, and to hear guys like Jeremy go on like he does sometimes, and the likes of them, and they finished playing 30 years ago. It does frustrate me at times, I'll be honest, but it is what it is.
New Zealand's got a massive culture of that, though. New Zealand, with it, especially the radio phone in, and there's a lot of modern player bashing goes on in Kiwi, isn't there?
It's a lot different. I think there's a bit more. Well, I don't know. I felt like when I was there was a bit more insight, and it was more relevant. And I felt like more of it was positive than not, whereas I feel in my experience, a lot of it can be over here is more towards the negative. And like Mike said, back in my day, back in their day, that there was no defences. Look at these tries, and there's just teams drift the fence from everywhere. You could get 6 passes and hit the winger, and he's in the corner. And I wish the game was like that today, but it's moved on and it keeps moving. So look, I think over here sometimes their insight's a little bit wayward, but it keeps the punters happy, I suppose, and that's the main thing.
You're both on social media. How do you find it, Mike? How do you find social media? Can you take it for how it is? Do people get to you? Do you bite? Do you ignore it? How does it work?
I wish I could say, it doesn't affect me. I don't bite, but I have been known to do both. So I seem to get a lot from Gareth's mates over in Wales. A lot of tweets from them. So, thanks guys. But yeah, I think now now it's fine, but because I'm not playing for England, I don't get as much abuse. But back when I was playing with England, it was quite hard, and you try and avoid it as much as possible. But it's almost impossible to avoid it, because even if you don't look at it, you'll get some of your mates or your family going, "Oh, did you see this? Did you see this?" And it's like you find out anyway. So yeah, it is tough, but you just have to learn to deal with it. It's the world we live in now, and you just have to try and put it to one side and take it for what it is. But it's tough sometimes.
Do you read about rugby? Do you watch rugby, or is it you play it and you do what you need to do, and then when you go home you switch off and you have other interests, other things to watch, or do you still keep an eye on it as a fan?
Yeah, I've grown up watching rugby since the age of 5. So, if I'm playing, I'm a fan. I have to be honest. Recent times, I haven't watched as much rugby just because I get frustrated with the style that's played. And I'm teams that are part of that as well. I just think rugby's gone too defensive and things like that. So I don't enjoy watching the rugby as much as I used to, especially growing up. So I would like it to become a bit more attack focused, and I think with teams like Bristol at the top of the Premiership, with the way they play, Quins have finally gone back to more open brand. If those teams become successful, hopefully more teams will start playing a better brand of rugby, because even Wales and England today, like you can see, everyone's already commenting on how much rugby is being played, and everyone's so happy to see that. So we want more of that, and that's what I want to see as a fan, not just as a player.
Are you loving this little chance for you to bite on the bottom here, Mike?
Is that Visser again?
Masqueraded as Jamie from work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no comment.
No comment. I'm guessing the only time Mike Brown has been to Newcastle is for rugby and a stag do.
I haven't even been for a stag do, I think.
He definitely doesn't go there for rugby. He's rest this week.
Mike, we've got a request in. Can you say...
I thought the weather was going to be bad.
The weather's never bad there. Mike, we've got a request in. Can you say happy 16th birthday to Isla, please?
Happy 16th birthday, Isla. Hope you've had a great day.
Nice. What better way to spend it than with Mike Brown in your living room? Now, we mentioned Jeremy Guskett there on BBC commentary. We've got somebody who's quite active on social media, Brian Moore. Now, Gareth, you've probably got no idea who Brian Moore is. So, Brownie, what's your thoughts on Brian Moore?
He was a great player in his time. I'm not sure how much he knows about the modern game, to be honest. I've met him a few times, actually. He's a nice enough bloke, but he's very intense, as you could probably imagine. I remember doing an England function with him, and he was on the table with me and a couple of other players, and they put on the screen some like clips of England back in his day and when he was playing and things like that, and you just heard this snarling coming from him sat next to us. And we, as players, we just look at each other like, is he all right, sort of thing. And he's just snarling and loving it, like really getting into it, like bit of dribble coming from his mouth, like just frothing from the mouth, desperate to, I think, get involved and relive his England days. Like, honestly, the guy was absolutely loving it and so intense.
His
That's all
autobiography
we
is
get to look forward to.
his autobiography is an absolute belter. I actually I bought it in Heathrow and didn't put it down until I got all the way to Auckland and I'd read it. It was absolutely brilliant. It's very, very good. I'll give you a laugh, Mike. At the moment, I'm reading Joe Marlar's autobiography.
Oh yeah,
You get quite a few mentions in there. You get quite a few mentions in that one.
What, good or bad?
No, good actually. In fact, all his Quins teammates come out of it well. We had Chris Robshaw on the first game that we did.
Good lad, Marlar.
Against Scotland, and Robbo was in his quarantine hotel in Vegas.
Oh.
Big turnover.
I don't like from a Welsh perspective. The tighter this game is, the more the English pack with that 6-2 split, I think that comes into play, particularly over this next 20-30 minutes.
Yeah.
So do you think the second half's going to be a bit more like you predicted at the beginning? It's going to be a lot tighter.
Yep.
I think it'll be tight this half. But no, I agree. The closer it is, the more it suits England, I think. And little things like that are just going to make England grow more into this game.
I think up front, particularly England off the bench have got just a little bit more firepower. They've got a bit more power coming off the bench, and that worries me if it's tight going into the last 20. I will say, Mike, I think, I know we've talked a fair bit about him, but I think Owen's actually gone all right so far.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's gone well. Especially, like I said, as soon as they start moving the ball around. Yeah, but like in attack, he's looked good. Him and Fordy have looked good, to be fair. Fordy's played really well first half, and then Faz, a couple of busting offloading back to what he was good at before. When he played 12.
So as part of that, Brownie is some of that because he's not played much rugby. Do you think he just needed time to get back into it?
Sorry?
Do you think some of that is because Owen Farrell's not played a huge amount of rugby? Is he going to take more games to get into it?
Yeah, look, who knows? Only he knows. It could well be. It could be because they're playing a bit better as a team. It could be because Fordy's at 10, getting the attack going, and he's just focused on what he needs to do. It could be a whole load of things that we don't know about. Eddie could have wound him up, so he's very motivated today. Yeah, who knows? Only he knows. But yeah, credit to him. He's showing what he's about as a person when he bounced back to have the impact he's having today. Sorry, but I'm interested why Bigger's gone off. Is he injured? I thought he'd been going pretty well.
It looked like he grabbed his hip flexor or groin walking off there. You wouldn't think they would have taken him off this early if there wasn't something wrong with him, surely.
No, I wouldn't have. I definitely wouldn't have taken him off. And Sheedy's still quite inexperienced at this level, isn't he?
I think if he's in the backfield too, they'll have a crack at that.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Is it just a collective boys coming off the bench, or is there MD in particular for England, Mike, that you think is going to come on and make a difference? Do you think it's just the freshness of 6 boys that's the big deal?
Yeah, I think it'll just be the freshness collectively when they come on, just to continue that intensity in the set piece, and things like that. Wales are doing well now. Yeah, I think it'll just be them collectively being able to keep that intensity up, and then hope that Wales dip off.
They got a bit of power up front with I think Cal Dicker was quite unlucky to lose his starting jersey after the recent performance. You got him, Genge, then you got Burnell. There's some powerful boys, just there.
I mean, that's just dumb. Oh,
It's a penalty. Yep. That's
no.
Oh wow, he's gone. Oh wow. Oh wow.
No.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Get that jersey on.
I think I'm slightly ahead of you guys.
Have you had a
Wow.
response from Scott Baldwin, Mike?
He just started laughing. He probably didn't want to jinx it, but yeah, he's just laughing.
They've
Oh,
they've had some easy tries, haven't they? Some easy scores. Just like 2 free scores, basically.
just like. But that's just a dumb penalty to give away. Anyway,
It's a dumb penalty, yeah, you're right.
like he knows that's illegal. He's
Wow.
diving off his feet, and he's whacking the ball out of his hands. Never works well. And then look, and they all just stood there. But
Who is literally.
I was
You're
we,
doing
I,
fist pumps right now, aren't you, Mike?
we were guys I work with. We were doing our Six Nations Fantasy League teams last night, and I had so many people were coming back and forward, going, "Who's this Kieran Hardy? Who's this Kieran Hardy guy? What's he like? He's going to be on big points this week, I think."
I've never heard of him. Where's it? And Wales have got such strength and depth in the nines, haven't they? I picked the other one. I don't remember his name now. I picked the other one. Is it Davies for Lions in my Lions team? Who was the one starting in the autumn? Is it
Oh, really? Okay.
Davies. Yeah, I picked him for my.
It was between Thomas, Williams, and Davies.
But Davies, Williams, they're all the same, aren't they?
That's borderline racist, Mike Brown.
Sorry.
Yeah, Anscombe kind of sticks out a bit.
It's just, yeah, very Welsh, isn't it, Anscombe?
Yeah, good Welsh name. That's a big score, that one, I think. A really big score.
Pro 14's doing all right, Gareth.
I tell you what, I don't see the Pro 14 losing this one now.
Good going. No. It might kick us into something like it did first half.
They've brought Willis Halahola for Jonathan Davies. It's an early sub as well.
He doesn't look happy either, does he?
Not at all. He's another good-looking Welshman.
Oh, there's a question. Who was your first club? Gareth, Gareth, who was your first club?
In New Zealand, I played for in Auckland on the North Shore, a club called East Coast Bays. So it's sort of like a few mini bays around the North Shore. So that was my first boyhood club, and then I moved into Ponsonby, which is quite well known. I think they've produced the most All Blacks at any club in New Zealand.
The Ponies, Ponsonby. And
That's it.
you can't have played much club rugby though, did you?
I had season, so my club rugby, few phases, just minis, and then for Ponsonby, I had 1 year out of school where we won the club championship, and then my second year, I played first half, and then the back end of it, I missed it because I was in the New Zealand Under-20 campaign.
Mike, who was your first club?
England in the final.
My first club was Salisbury, down Wiltshire.
You played a bit of football, Mike,
Not
didn't you?
far from Stonehenge. Me?
Yeah. Did you not play a bit of football?
I tried at school. No, I'm not one of them. Those rugby guys that claim they're in some sort of football academy. Like the Danny Cares, the Ugo Monjes. A lot of them try and claim, "Oh, I could have been a footballer." Well, why would you be a rugby player if you could have been a footballer? No, not at any decent level, just school.
Do the coaches at professional level ever give you a go at having a game of football or a game of something else to mix things up a bit?
Yeah, we do a bit of football to warm up sometimes. That's where you get the most buy-in and energy, is when you have a warm-up that's football related.
Gareth, you'll not even know what that is. Beat it New Zealand and then coming to Wales.
1 year at the Blues, we almost had it every warm-up started off with a football, which was good fun, like Mike said, but sadly it hasn't come out in a while. Hopefully when I get back into actually training with the team, we can get back out.
Gareth, how far are you off from being back training with the team?
I'm not. The honest answer to that is I'm not totally sure. I'm hoping. Look, we've got in that Pro 14 competition that you know a lot about. There's the Rainbow Cup that's coming out in the end of April with the South African sides. So I'm hoping to play a part in that. All going well, but it's tough because it's almost a case of I've got to do something that's new to me and my body, which pushes me a fair bit, and just see how I respond. And if I respond well, then we go to the next thing and the next thing, and it's almost guessing how long's a piece of string. So I'm hopeful I'll get some rugby in at the end of the season, but the physios are pretty keen to take their time, and we'll wait and see.
With that West Wales accent, Gareth, that sounded like the Rambo Cup.
Yeah, I think I mumble the rainbow.
The rainbow.
Well.
There you go.
Yeah. So look, I'm unsure if we'll go ahead. Obviously, with what's going on in the world with COVID and the South African teams struggling to travel. But hopefully it goes ahead, and then I can really look at aiming at something to play for. Really.
You just hoping for a bit of South African sunshine?
I would love to go to South Africa, but it sounds like from whispers I've heard that if it goes ahead, that they'll have to be bubbling over here and competition will be based in one of the Celtic countries. So we'll have to wait and see. But it'd be nice for more rugby to go ahead. Get on that, Josh. That's a turnover. That's a pen. Oh. Oh.
Forwards changes coming up soon, Mike.
Yeah, I reckon so. Around the 60-minute, they'll start bringing some on. Try and lift the intensity a bit. Get back into this game. Squeeze the Welsh a bit. I think get someone on, especially like Cowan Dickey, like Gareth said, with his carries.
What do the boys make at Eddie's play on them not being replacements, on them being finishers? Does that make them feel more important? Is there a bit of a snigger behind his back? What's the story there?
I don't think anyone takes any notice of it. To be honest, I think it's one of those things. A coach likes to drop in there to sound a bit innovative, a bit different. I think it makes them feel better, a bit better compared to players feeling a bit better. To be honest, I think it's one of them. Sounds good though.
Would you like to be a finisher, or would you prefer? Surely everybody just wants to start and then you're on the bench. That's how it goes.
Yeah. You just want to start, don't you? You want to be bench, finisher, whatever they call it. It's still not starting, isn't it? So it's just as bad.
There's quite a few mistakes now, isn't there? There's a lot of little niggly little mistakes that could come down to something going wrong.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of fatigue kicking in. The game's stagnated a bit now, isn't it? It's sort of ever since Hardy scored, I actually think the game's sort of gone into a bit more back and throw, which I think suits Wales now.
How often do you look up at the clock when you're playing?
I think it depends if you're
Say.
in control or not. I think maybe the games when you're in control, the game seems to fly by, and when you're struggling for momentum or you don't have much ball, then you're looking up going, "Fuck, when's half time? We need a break. We need to regroup." So I think for me, in my experience, it seems to be how dominant or the control you've got in the game.
Are players still taking a knee to give that bit of a break? Are you still saying to somebody, just go down and give us a chance to have a chat?
Yeah, the forwards definitely that. We call it deadwood. So someone shouts deadwood and then prop goes down, gives the forwards a bit of a rest. But also, if you're on the wrong side of momentum, give you a chance to sort of refocus and try and stunt their momentum as well.
Oh. I do think Ford adds a little bit of a different dimension to England's attack a little bit.
What do you reckon to the picture we've got here, gents? So Specsavers, that's some good quality social media. And why are hundreds of people trying to get him an emergency eye test with us? Do you think they put that out every Saturday for big football game or Six Nations game? Is that just a standard tweet they stick out?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Have you two seen my coasters? How good are they? Putting my juice on a Gareth Anscombe and a Mike Brown.
One in the white.
Look at that.
I think he got me for the signature. I think I like his one more than mine.
Yeah, that's just bloody bone idle, Mike Brown. That's just ridiculous behaviour.
Like done it.
That's somebody who has to sign a lot, so has just decided, yeah, that's it. I need to get through thousands of these. At least that looks like Gareth Anscombe.
That looks like a 2-year-old's done that. Oh. Oh, well done. I was giving it way too early.
We look so much better when we move the ball around.
Yeah.
Yes, go on. Yeah.
Oh, yes. You are ahead of us. Fuck. Mike, you're right though. You guys look to be fair though, I only see I don't know what you think when Farrell's at 10, but you know how Ford gets the ball out of that forward pod. I think he makes better decisions out of that pod than what Farrell does. Then he links up well when Farrell's a little, pass wider than he is now, out the back of that second man pod. He makes better decisions there, but it's a good link up there. It's been nice to actually see Slade because I rate Slade a lot.
And he takes it.
It's been nice to actually see Slade get the ball in his hands a little bit.
Yeah. Also, Fordy takes it so flat to the line, it means that it holds players on the inside. So then by the time Faz gets it, he's not under loads of pressure, and Slade gets it in more one-on-one situations in wider channels.
Brownie, what's Ben Young's TV advert? We've got a question about Ben Young's is doing a TV advert. So the question is, what would you two advertise? Oh, he's doing Dove for Men. What would you advertise, Brownie? What would you stick your name to? What would you stick that your
head and shoulders?
Head. Picture of you in the shower.
Yeah, with all this thick long hair I've got.
Has Gareth just taken us to the toilet with him? Is Gareth gone to the toilet a bit like Naked Gun? He's having a pee. It's like you must remember Naked Gun. You ever seen that movie where he goes to the toilet? Gareth Anscombe. That's not just legends in your living room. That's legends in your downstairs toilet. Mike, can you give us
Gareth for his advertising? Could do maybe Wales tourist advert, couldn't he? Because
how to apply for a UK passport
with his thick Welsh accent. With his thick Welsh accent and his great knowledge of Wales rugby legends and the local area.
Gareth, you just took us to the toilet with you, man.
Hey, I gave you Neil Jenkins and Shane Wood.
Hey, you just took us to the toilet. We just heard you at the toilet.
That's a VIP treat, man.
That's why people are paid the big bucks to be part of legends in your living room, also legends in your downstairs toilet.
Oh, sorry.
And it would be nice if you washed your hands.
Yeah, of course. COVID's got me used to that.
We heard it all. So there you go. Luke, Matt and Jack
Brilliant.
did not miss the chance. Question for Gareth: did you wash your hands?
It was a quick rinse.
A quick rinse. Oh, I hope Felix is not watching that, or Felix's hero is just gone.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Nine's gone. Hamstring.
Cramp or gone?
That young kid at 9 done his hamstring. Looks like it's gone.
The young kid at 9. The young pro 14er.
That's what happens when you play Pro 14. You get all these injuries because you're not used to the intensity.
You're starting to sound more and more like Jeremy Gussop by the minute. I'll take that over Brian Moore.
What's going to clinch it, Gareth? What can Wales do to clinch this game?
To be honest, I think discipline's going to be key here. I think, like I said before, what worries me now is with 15 to go and the power that England have got to bring on, and it's starting to become quite a nervy, tight affair. So we haven't really seen Wales create many opportunities lately, being able to get a little bit wider. Oh, so I think discipline's going to be key. Don't know. I see a penalty settling this game. Or shoulder to the head.
It's going to be a red. No, it'll be all right.
What do you reckon?
Looked like he rode up. Should be fine.
That's bounced up, hasn't it? Surely.
Yeah, I think that's bounced up. Be a penalty though, wouldn't it?
That'd be harsh as well, I think. But you're probably right. Yes. I think it's going to come down to now.
What's Sheedy's goal kicking like?
Should you not know that, Mike? Because he plays in the
It's actually
Premiership.
overall.
Yeah, I should really know that, but I don't think they.
It actually hasn't made too bad.
They just tap and go the corner.
What's your thoughts, Mike? Gareth reckons it's going to come down to a penalty. How do you think England can win it? You've been quite liking when they've shifted the ball around.
Yeah, I still think it will come down to discipline and penalties. I think it'd be quite key from now. No one will give up territory, and no one will want to give away penalties like this. But I still think if they want to put pressure on Wales and to move it like they have done, because they've looked good when they do that, but just obviously in the right areas.
Is this where Owen Farrell becomes important? Is this where he justifies everything, Mike, in these situations? Is this where you want him?
Is this what, sorry?
Is this where Owen Farrell comes into his own as a leader and is the reason he's in the team? These sort of situations?
Yeah, exactly that. This is where you want your big leaders to step up, make sure the team know exactly what they're going to do. Make sure you're on to the guys around you about discipline, keeping the energy high as well, because we're going into the last, we're in the last quarter of the game. So fatigue's going to start setting in. So you need those big voices around the guys, keeping them on task. And then obviously he's goal kicker as well, isn't he? So if it's going to come down to those kicks, he's massively important with that.
And same token, Gareth, is this where Alan Wynne becomes very important?
Yeah, maybe not as important as Farrell, but Wales need to manage particularly these next 5 minutes. I think playing it right into the park. They don't need to do anything, out of whack here and lose focus. They need to just keep the ball up at this end of the field, and they don't need to take risks now. They just need to be disciplined. But I think, like we said, I think really it's going to come down to a bit of discipline here, particularly at set piece time. It's a big shot. I think Wales just need to make sure they keep playing down here. Some smart kicks in behind England. It's all right if they find touch and see, if England can chase it. Setting up for a box kick here now. I think it's really important now that, with the changes Wales made, their set piece holds up now. You can't either win penalties or lose penalties on your set piece now. So I think that's where England will fancy themselves in this last 15 as well. That's a big one. What other penalty count?
This is looking worse for me at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. They've do you know what the stats are? Because it seems to be that Wales' discipline's been really, really sharp. That's fair. Even Mike would agree with that.
Oh, no comment.
You're just thinking about that red jersey that you're going to wear.
I'm getting stressed. Again.
Kirk.
Sheedy's another one that's had a haircut. I'm not Mike. I reckon it's time we made some kind of sent a message to Guinness Six Nations.
What's that?
Because Johnny Hill's cut his own hair, so there's absolutely no way England have had a barber into camp. But Sheedy and Bigger they've both been professionally done.
COVID regulations have been breached. This is another board game. I feel.
Who did Robson's hair? Mike, you and Robson got the same barber.
I'll have you know, I've got a full head of hair, great hair, all real.
You went and saw the same hair specialist as Jamie Roberts, did you?
Did his not? His didn't work, did it?
Pardon?
Mine's all natural, mate. His didn't work, did it?
Yeah.
Still, his is clinging on.
Yeah, it's debatable.
It looks like a chewed up tennis ball. Shot.
This for all three. Can't believe I'm being asked that. Apart from the home stadiums, gents, what is your favourite stadium to play in? Terry from the Stoop. Brownie, what's your favourite stadium to play in apart from Twickenham?
It's got to be the Millennium Stadium. Like I said before, it's the best away when it's full with all the atmosphere. It's easy for me. With the roof
Mike,
on as well. I loved it with the roof on.
I was going to say, you like the roof on.
Yeah.
Gareth, yours must be Eden Park.
Yeah, look, that Eden Park is pretty special. But look, just the sheer size of it and the history, I enjoyed Twickenham as well, even though I haven't had a good result there yet. But that's a pretty good experience as well.
Hey, can you guys see this? What someone's put on Wikipedia already?
What's it said? Pascal.
Can you see that?
No, I can see the photo. Is a referee.
Welsh Rugby Union.
Who represents the Welsh Rugby Union. Oh, brilliant. Well, that 13-8 penalty count. 13-8.
They've gone there quite early, Gareth, haven't they, to have a pop at the referee? They've started early.
Yeah.
They have gone.
It's the English, though, isn't it?
Although I think the Irish were going after the referee after, 15 minutes? The Scots were going after the referee after about 55 minutes. There's not been a red card in this game yet.
Yeah, don't speak too soon.
Oh, not another pen. Oh.
Wow.
Discipline's been awful.
What do you think Eddie says about this game?
He'll just blame himself again, won't he?
Yeah.
My fault, mate. My fault. Didn't prepare him well enough.
Yeah, Robson can't do that.
Assistant referees called that one, haven't they?
This is looking like it's going to be...
You're not allowed to touch a Welsh winger, though. If you touch a Welsh winger, you're in trouble. Doesn't matter who the referee is. Welsh wingers need to be protected at all costs.
Good kick.
Oh, he's got it as well. Oh.
Oh, he's nailed it. Oh, well done.
Premiership quality kicker there. Do you love that, Gareth, goal kicking? Is that something you like when the crowd goes quiet in the stadium and it's just you and the ball?
Yeah, I love the challenge of it, and whether I'm playing fly half or fullback, I always enjoy having the goal kicking duties. So it's a challenge I really enjoy and have worked pretty hard on over the years.
Are you respect the kicker, or do you not care if they're making a noise and singing songs?
Oh, I mean, you can always hear them. I know guys say they don't. You can, but I suppose it's our job to. They can't ultimately affect you kicking the ball, can they? So over years, I suppose everyone's gotten used to it. So I don't mind it.
How do you think George North is going in his 100th cap, Gareth? Yankees pleased with his performance?
Yeah, I think so, because I think defensively I think England would have tried to really test their combination, and I think apart from that one read before half time, he's been really good the second half.
Has Daly gone off for mail injury?
Yeah, MD, it's watching at home. Get your man of the match in. Text it to the number on the bottom of the screen there. We'll leave that up for a bit so that you can get that in. You might as well take your chance. Gents, help out the people at home. If you were picking a man of the match now, who would you give it to? Gareth, who would you give man of the match to?
Oh, that's a really tough one. I'll go for Hardy.
Oh, Hardy. Mike, help out the people at home. Who would you give man of the match to?
I can't even give a person. I'm so.
Is that because you don't know the players in the Pro 14 that you can't name them? Is that where we've got to now?
Are you going to give it to Brownie? Brownie wants to.
I just can't even bring myself. Oh, honestly, I'm so. Oh no.
Oh well.
No.
Hey, Sheedy could win it.
Oh no.
Sheedy could win this. Oh wow.
Oh no.
If this bounces up. No. Oh, what's he done? What? Oh.
He's absolutely butchered it.
What's he done there? Oh, he's too fast for his own good.
He's too fast for his own good. You did say he can't coach speed.
Oh my god.
Hey, in all seriousness,
Look where they are though.
Sheedy's been class second half for them. Sheedy's been brilliant. He's been pretty effective. He's kicked big goals.
Yeah, he has, to be fair.
He's come on with 35. He's had a pretty big say on this match. Oh, what is that? Is that backwards, forwards?
The ref will probably give a try here.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Golden balls is fallible. See, he's somebody. He could have been a footballer, Mike. He had the chance to be a pro player.
He's just sprinted straight past him, mate. I knew he was fast.
Johnny may be absolutely rattled with that because he's literally.
I've just seen him
near him.
Oh, you can't say anything about it. Oh, he's done him. Johnny May's resolved to the head nods. He's got the head nods. That's when you know you're gone.
What? Oh.
The head nods.
I can't believe it. Man of the match. Oh, wow. Valentine. Where's that come from?
Right, Brownie called that. That's where that's come
Called
from.
Oh,
He called that pre-match. If Wales
What do I
win,
win?
Tobes.
What do
that was
what do I
one
win?
of the six. One of the
What do I
60
win? A
pick.
Welsh shirt. I win a Welsh shirt to train in a week. Oh.
Hey, what a privilege, Brownie. You're welcome.
Hey, Brownie, at least you just have to go to training. Gareth had to come all the way from New Zealand to get a Welsh shirt. So just think yourself lucky.
Wales are going to score again. I bet they score again.
Oh, no.
Wales are going to put 40 on
Oh,
them.
they are.
They're going to
They've
put 40 on
scored.
there.
They've scored.
Wow. Get out of here.
Next. Brownie,
Next.
I feel for you because you're seeing it before we are.
Wow.
So your
look.
misery is twofold when it happens and then when we see it.
Wow. I
feel like the signal's getting bad here. It might cut off in a minute.
Hey, Brownie, the good news is that your dad, Eddie, could be out of a job in a couple of weeks.
I might message him, tell him I'm still available.
Didn't he block your phone number?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Jeez.
Wow.
He did it a bit.
What a win.
Wayne Pivac, get his
Not even
lottery
close.
numbers. Get Wayne Pivac's lottery numbers. Having almost been out of a job, he's now going for a Grand Slam.
So it's going to come out of Wales and France. Wow.
And they've done it against 15, Gareth.
I'm just ringing
Oh,
Scott Baldwin now.
Oh,
FaceTime.
Oh, keep on speaker.
Mate,
Keep on speaker.
I'm fully rattled. Because I've got to wear that horrible shirt all week, haven't I? You go, yeah, get me one that fits the... I'm on the...
Brownie, we're going to send him the link. Get Scott Baldwin on here.
Yeah.
Get him on here. Brownie, forward him the link and we'll get him on.
Boulders, I'm gonna send you a link. I'm gonna send you a link, and you got to come on here. All right, bye. Right, he's coming on. What? Get me that link.
The link's
smart.
there. Have a look in the private chat over the side there. If you copy that link, if you can copy that and send it to him.
Can he WhatsApp it to me?
We need your number, mate.
I'll put it in a. Yeah, I'm not putting it on here with all those Welshies.
Put it in the private chat over there and we'll get him on.
Hang on.
What a win.
I'm just emailing it to myself and then I'll send it to him.
Hey, it's a shame that's not a sold out stadium.
You gotta be happy with that, Gareth.
Yeah, I was worried that the last 20 went to 24 all, but England just didn't move. Triple crown. Wow.
Brownie, you're going to get a message from Vis and he's going to send on.
Right, got it. I've sent him one. See if he'll come on.
So we've got a winner of the Man of the Match award. So they're going to win a bottle of Glen Turret. Well done to Jessica Morgan. Jessica Morgan picked Toby Faletau because she listens to everything Mike Brown says. So she's picked Tobes as player of the match. So well done, Jessica. You've got yourself a bottle of Glen Turret, which is over there, I think. So well done, Jessica. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your whiskey. There we go. Scott Baldwin, how are you?
Not too bad. I was disappointed, obviously, we lost, but then to see Wales win and Brownie's got to wear that jersey is happy days.
Scott, it's taken us a bit of time to tune into a Welsh accent because the Welshman we've got here has a pretty southern Welsh accent, so we just need to tune ourselves in here a little bit.
He's from West Wales, he is, that's why. Down west, they've got different accents down there.
So talk us through this bet you've got with Brownie. What happens now?
So I'm gonna have to get a jersey. I'm hoping I can get it from Reece Webb or Chicken. So I'm back in Wales tonight, and I'll bring it up ready for training on Wednesday, nice and tight and fresh for him, and he can wear it all weekend. I'm sure Chicken's got a number 15 jersey.
I'll wear
for World
Gareth
Cup.
because he's not really a Welshman, is he? So.
Hey, Borders, you've got him rattled, mate. He can't even think straight.
Yeah, mate, give him the 15, mate. He'll be flying.
I'm done.
You're an honorary Welshman. Mate, just think now, when we go out in Cardiff, when all this is over, people love you. People love you.
I'm pretty sure Mike Brown's popular in Cardiff as it is, aren't you, Mike?
Oh, yeah, love me down there. Absolutely love me.
You've just told everybody it's your favourite place to play.
Yeah. Got some good days, Mike, haven't you?
Hey?
So, Scott, who did you give man of the match to? Who was your man of the match?
I thought it was between Toby and Tim myself. Oh, they'd be class, and I think they'd be the point of difference, especially in the forwards for the last 3 games, really.
Can I tell you who Mike Brown picked as man of the match before kickoff? He said Toby Faletau if Wales win.
Yeah. He's a special player.
Who? Mike Brown or Toby Faletau?
Both of them have had pretty good careers, haven't they?
They certainly have. Brownie has been an absolute star today, but he is mortified. I take it you're going to keep this really discreet and just amongst the squad. This won't be posted anywhere.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll be able to be posted anywhere because obviously we're not sponsored by Under Armour, but I don't know. I'm sure a couple of clips will get.
I'm sure you'll find out, mate.
Yeah, we'll patch over the sponsored product orders.
Yeah, that'll be all right, mate. Hey, don't worry, we got a full shorts and socks as well, mate. It'll be lovely.
I reckon there must be somebody somewhere that would be willing to get old Welsh, just the white collar, classic cotton number.
I was thinking of the old 2000. I was thinking of the 2015 World Cup edition, like, you know. Yeah, a real good one.
Don't even go there. Yeah, Boulders?
Yeah, I was there, mate. I got dragged off after 50 mine. When we come back, then.
Oh, that's why he went on to win. Yeah, I thought so.
That's the one.
Nice. Brilliant.
All good.
Scott, brilliant to see you. Top man.
Cheers, Scotty boy.
Great to see you.
Cheers, Boulders.
See Brownie. See you, mate.
He seems like a happy man, Brownie. Who's this coming to visit?
Bring
the
kids in now.
Hello, who's this?
Quick!
Yay!
I need help.
He's a bit shy. This is where you could forget the result, Mike. Hello.
The right colour jersey on. Good man.
Hello. Say, come on, England.
He's gone shy.
Brilliant to see you.
Just going to say that.
Brilliant to see you. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I have loved it. Two of you have been absolute superstars. Gareth, are you able just to give us a little message to your Welsh fans who are watching?
Yeah, I think we're pretty pleased with that. 3 from 3 and all the pressure that Wayne and the team had before the Six Nations. You know, the fact that we're now chasing another Grand Slam, and we know there's obviously Italy to come, but I think we can look forward to France now, and it sets it up for a mental finish this tournament. But thoroughly deserved. I thought the boys were outstanding, particularly that second half, ground out a good win, and I just can't wait to see Brownie in a red jersey come Monday.
Brownie, I think we need to get a word from the little man. Come on, tell
get
us
the boy
something.
on.
Get the boy on.
What do you reckon to that? I can't even look past wearing the Wales shirt to even comment on the English.
We're looking forward to seeing that. Gentlemen, an absolute honour to have you with us. Thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you back on the pitch, Gareth. And all the best up north, Brownie.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, gents. Thanks a lot. Absolutely first class. Ladies and gentlemen, rugby clubs in Wales, in England, in Canada, in America. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I think you got quite a lot there. We got Gareth Anscombe in his downstairs toilet, Naked Gun style. We've not had that one before. We got Mike Brown. He got his mate Scott Baldwin in. Mike Brown is going to be wearing a Welsh strip. Traded all this week. We got to see his son come in there. I've had an absolute ball too. Top men. So much time for them. Great chat. Great insight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to Snackfully, who sorted out those who got the box of treats to enjoy with the game. Thank you to those who have got their stuff in. I think we need to find out who the winner is. Have we got a winner of who's going to get the next login? I'm going to keep talking while they get that information to me. So the best photo of your setup. Do we have any more photos that we can show? Here we go. Oh, yes. All the way over in Long Beach. Jason, loving that. Long Beach State 49ers rugby. Ted from Canterbury. Yes, it's like a dodgy Bond villain with a glass of red and the cat. Loving that. Good to see you, Ted. Canterbury Rugby Club. Magnificent. Simon and Lara. That has to be the photo winner. All the way down in Nairobi. Enjoying, I don't know, is it a braai in Kenya or is it a barbecue? But it looks bloody good, whatever it is. So good on you, Simon and Lara. You win a login for another time. I've absolutely loved it. My name is Bruce Aitchison from Happiness Egg Shaped. I've been your host for today. We had Gareth Anscombe from Wales. We had Mike Brown from England. Sean Phelan is the man pushing the buttons. Thank you to everybody who joined Rugby Bash Legends in your living room. I hope you've had a great afternoon. You get a day off tomorrow because Scotland don't get to play France, and we'll see you very soon for the next game. Go to @RugbyBash for all the information about the upcoming fixtures. Thank you very much and good night. Wales are happy.